What's going on, you little assholes? Today I'm going to be talking about Warzone 2.0, which just dropped earlier today, and I want to just talk about the map, talk about my first impressions playing this game so far, this Battle Royale experience. I'm just going to say this, I haven't played Warzone in over a year because Caldera was one of the biggest pieces of shit that I've ever played in my life. I'm sorry if you like that map. I just couldn't stand it. I didn't like the World War II setting. The World War II guns were kind of boring to use. That's just my personal preference. I'd rather play a modern game, and I will say it's refreshing so far. I've played about 7 matches so far. Haven't won a single one, but it's coming. Don't worry. Maybe I'll have to record my first win. But I do want to talk about a few things with this Battle Royale that I am experiencing so far. I'm having a good time for the most part. No problems, at least not on next gen. I heard there's a lot of problems on last generation of consoles, but this was intended for PC and next gen. There's an FOV slider now for console, which is nice. It just looks great. Like, graphically, we'll start there. Game looks gorgeous. It really does look incredible. Very vibrant and lots of colors. And I just like, again, Caldera was kind of dull and dark, depressing. I didn't really like looking at it. And that's why I didn't play it much over the past year and a half it's been out. I think I only played it for the first few weeks and then I dropped it completely and just started playing Rebirth. Yeah, overall, graphically, looks great, as do all Call of Duty games. Even Modern Warfare 2, like just the base game, it looks so good. And the campaign, the multiplayer, top-notch stuff. But let's talk a little bit about the map itself, because that's where I'm kind of going back and forth right now. It's 100% better than Caldera. I'll say that right off the start. Like, I'm having a way better time. You could say it's just honeymoon phase right now, but I don't think so. I think this map is going to be pretty fun. Now, the thing is I'm noticing that it might be a little bit too big. Now, Caldera was massive, right? Caldera was fucking huge. And I don't know if this map is as big as Caldera, but it's got to be close. I'm going to have to do some research after and see which one is the biggest. Caldera was bigger than Verdansk, and I'm pretty sure this new Al Mazrah map for Warzone 2.0 is bigger than both. Caldera might be close, but I would probably give the edge to this one from what I've played so far. I'm gonna have to look it up, or somebody can correct me down in the comment section, but this map is way too big, I feel like, for the amount of players that are in there. I've played, like I said, 6 or 7 games so far, and half of those were solo. I'm not even kidding. I think my highest kill solo game right now is like 5 or 6 kills, and I was really trying to find people. Like, I was hunting them down and sniffing them out and trying to find everybody I could, and I just couldn't do it. There's nobody around other than my hot drop. We actually had a line across going over terminal at airport, and I dropped there thinking, hey, it's terminal, people are going to drop here, and there's only 2 kids in the entire area, which was kind of disappointing. But yeah, as the days go on, the hot drops are going to become more common. Like, everybody's going to know where people want to drop and what's the biggest hot drop, kind of like Superstore was for Verdansk and Peak was for Caldera. So there's definitely going to be places where people know to drop. But I feel like even when you do get a hot drop on this new map, after you know, if you're good, you're going to wipe everybody's ass in that area, and then you're going to basically just be looking for people. Even when I called in UAVs, because that's what I do, I go to the buy station, call UAVs in, and try to spam them. They actually make it so you can't spam it now. You can only buy, like, there's a limit at each buy station for items that you can buy, which is kind of cool because there's assholes like me that like to buy like 5 UAVs and just spam it, so now we can't do that. But even when you do call in UAVs, like, I was calling in a few and there was honestly nobody near me. Like, the next closest person was probably in the, you know, in the next town closest to me, in next place of interest. So, and a lot of my deaths were happening like in the open. Like, they weren't happening while I was at a place of interest. They were kind of happening while I was having to run to circle. I could grab a vehicle. There's obviously boats that they incorporated into this new Warzone. There's fighter jets and there's choppers and stuff like that. Of course, that makes it a lot easier. But even when you do get those vehicles, you're still kind of searching for people. I just feel like it's really hard to find people in this from what I'm noticing so far. And the way they could fix that is they could either cut this map in half, which we all know they're not going to do, or they could just add more players. Now, they said that Warzone 2.0 was intended for next generation of consoles, so Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5, as well as PC, of course. PC elitist, you don't have to worry. You guys are above us. We bow down to you every day. I'm not trying to fuck with you. Please leave me alone. So it was obviously made, they said, for these platforms. It's not really made for the last generation of consoles. And I think that we can definitely handle 200 players per lobby now. Like, I don't know why they just don't do it. Instead of adding 200 players, they actually incorporated bots into each of these lobbies, which I'm not a fan of. Like, get rid of these bots. Nobody wants to shoot bots. You know, like, get rid of these guys. They're not all over the map, thankfully, but they are in certain spots, and they're kind of annoying to shoot at. They have a wicked shot. They can take you down. I'm telling you, don't underestimate those bots. But I mean, nobody really wants to fight them. They kind of guard looted areas. Like, apparently they guard areas with better loot. So I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but even then, I'm not trying to fight bots. I'm not trying to waste my ammo on them, you know? So I would just rather they add 200 players around the map, and I think that our consoles and PC can definitely handle it. I actually wanted 200 players on Caldera, and if they did that, I would have played it a lot longer, but Verdansk was perfect with 150 players. Verdansk was really just the perfect size for a map. I feel like there was not too many open areas. Like, there's a lot of good spots for gunfights and stuff like that, and hopefully this map grows on me and it's more like that. But there's also proximity chat in this, which is already getting toxic as hell, as I'm sure you guys can imagine. There's people swearing at you, saying racist things. It's getting crazy in there. The funny thing about proximity chat is that if you're not using it, like, sometimes I was just creating my own Xbox party so I didn't have to hear game chat, and I could see their icon popping up on the left corner, so I knew they were in my location, but they didn't know I was there. So it was pretty funny, actually, that I got a few kills just off of them yelling shit at me, probably, and I didn't even talk back. So there's that. And then as far as, like, the loadouts go and everything, I'm not a big fan of the buy stations right now. Like, you can go to the buy station and actually buy your loadout weapons, but it's like 5,000 cash, which I think needs to be lowered maybe to like 3,000 or 4,000. But you don't get your actual full loadout from it. You can just buy weapons. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. 5,000 and you get one weapon. You don't get any of your perks or anything like that. So, and then there's also loadout drops that do come, and just like before in the previous ones, and you can get your loadout like that. So yeah, last thing I wanted to touch on was that there's 3 circles that kind of end the game, and they kind of slowly but surely merge together. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I remember there was one circle, like, I couldn't find anybody. I think there's one dude in my entire circle, and it felt like it took forever to finally merge with the other 2 circles. So I don't know how I'm feeling about this new I don't know, what do you want to call it? This new storm system that they've implemented into this game. But yeah, so far I'm not really caring for it, but we'll see how it goes. As far as the new gulag system goes, I don't know if I like it so much right now, because it puts you into the gulag with another player, and it's basically a 2v2, which, I mean, I'm okay with it being a 2v2 if I'm playing quads and I go in there with my teammate. But I was playing solo and going in there with a random that's just absolutely horrible, and it's a 1v2 automatically. My teammate dies, of course, and then I'm screwed. So I don't know if I'm a big fan of this new gulag system. I actually like the map or the layout for the gulag, but I just don't like the 2v2 system that they got going. Like I said, if it's duos or something and you go in there with your teammate, I'm fine with that. But for solos, I would just rather not, or just wouldn't rather go in there with a random. I can definitely see how this new looting system that they got going is going to be a problem for controller players. It's a little bit slow if you're on controller, that is. If you're on keyboard and mouse, you're going to have no problem with it, but you kind of got to go through different like backpacks, and when you kill somebody, you have to go through their stuff, kind of like Apex, and kind of like, what else could it be? Like H1Z1 and those kind of games, if you ever played them. But yeah, there's a lot of items laying on tables and on cabinets and stuff. It's kind of laid out. It reminds me a lot of Blackout, so it's not too bad, but could be troublesome for controller players. Let me know down in the comment section, what's your favorite map of the big 3 right now? Is it Caldera, Verdansk, or this new Al Mazrah map? It's too early kind of to tell, but I can definitely say, hey, I do like it better than Caldera. Not sure if I like it better than Verdansk yet, or if I ever will, but we'll see as time goes on. Having a lot of fun. Let me know if you're playing this right now, and leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.